Hello everyone, my name is Aspen Hott, and today I'm going to do my book talk on spaghetti and meatballs for all. And this is written by Marilyn Burns, and it's illustrated by Debbie Tilley. And this is such a great mathematical story, as well as a great little cute book for students and even adults to read if you love food and mathematics. I enjoyed it a lot since I love food and cooking, and I especially love spaghetti. So let's go on to the next slide. Okay, so the main storyline. The main storyline is these two older couple, Mr. and Mrs. Comfort, want to have this big reunion slash party because they miss their families and friends. And I thought this was so ironic and so relatable because just like right now, everyone is stuck in quarantine and with the coronavirus going on. I thought this was so relatable because I know I've had thoughts of, I miss my family and friends. I wish I could have this big reunion, big dinner, and see everyone again and have that over food. So that was a great little relatable aspect that I thought about when I first read this story. But going back to the main storyline, this couple, they miss their family and friends, so they want to throw this big party, reunion, and of course do that with food. So Mrs. Comfort, she's kind of the go-getter and organizer, while Mr. Comfort is more of the preparer of food. And you can see that from the beginning when she's in the garden, picking all the food, and he's sitting there reading a cookbook. So he wants to cook the food and she wants to organize it. And they want to see their family and friends again and do that over food and miss them and love them and see them again. And so that's the main storyline of the book. And they also have to go through this aspect of how am I going to divide everything up? How am I going to organize everything? And that's how we get into the mathematical content of this story. So the mathematical content and examples within this story. There's plenty of examples of fractions throughout this book in addition. Examples. First, she calls up everyone and invites them to the party, and of course that is a total of 32 people. So right off the bat you have a number, 32. And then Mr. Comfort starts out the book next with the food that he has prepared, and that is 16 loaves of garlic bread, 8 pounds of fresh pasta, 8 quarts of spaghetti sauce, and 96 meatballs. This is all divided into the original count of people, which is 32. Right off the bat, you have division and fractions. How many am I going to put in there? How am I going to divide it? If I have 32 people, I have 16 loaves of bread. How's that going to go into 32? How am I going to divide that? Blah, 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 blah. This, of course, changes throughout the book, though. You're dividing new numbers, and that also goes in with the tables and chairs, which I will talk about a little later. Another example is Mrs. Comfort says, I have 4 placemats and 4 tables per table. So example, you have 32 people, 32 divided by 4 is 8. So you're going to have 8 tables in total. And then, of course that changes, and that goes into the next example, which is standard algorithm of addition. So within the book, you have Mrs. Comfort saying you have 8 tables. Original, you have 8 tables, 4 chairs, 4 placemats. And as people come in, they're pushing the tables together though. So they're mixing and matching all this, perfect 8 tables. So you're pushing together 4 and 4, that's 8. Add another 4, that's 16. This is a perfect example of standard algorithm of addition because you're adding on. You're having these 4 groups, so four chairs of one group. So 4, 4, 4, 4, and you're adding that. So adding that group, adding that group, adding that group. So you're adding groups, and that's the basic understanding of standard algorithm of addition. So let's review that one more time because I know I kind of went over it quickly. Examples. So you're dividing out food, putting food into fractions too, because you're trying to decide what people get what equally. Next, you're dividing out the tables. You're adding on the tables, which leads to standard algorithm of addition. Adding groups, and then, of course, at the end, taking away groups and going back to the original plan that Mrs. Comfort had. So this leads to, how would I use this in my own classroom? How would I use those examples? How would I use the book and those math examples and everything? So first thing that came to mind was, I would do the same thing, but let's turn it into a party. Let's have some fun. Let's make the kids excited. So I would tell the kids, bring a snack, bring food for the class. So they bring in food, and let's sit down and first and let's divide out the food, just like the book. Let's count the students. So we have 32. Let's say we have 32 students. Now let's count the food. So we lay it all out on the table and count it off. And how are we going to divide that between 32? That's the first thing I would do, just like the book. Let's divide the food first. And then let's group everyone into families. Let's do exactly what the book says. 4 and 4 and 4 and 4 and 4, which equals the total of 32. And then next, I would have students come in. So let's go outside the classroom and let's act like this is the party. You're entering the party. Let's have your family enter. Welcome to my party. So you have the first group enter. That's 4. Let's sit down and let's enjoy this food together. Then we have the next family come in. That's 4 more. Let's push it all together so we can be together. Then we have another one. Just like the book, you're adding on and adding on and adding on these groups. You're adding these groups and adding these groups and adding these groups. And this is exactly how I would teach and explain standard algorithm of addition, as well as dividing and adding in general. As well as overall teaching them the concept of, you have this total and then you're splitting it into these different groups. So let's review that. All right. So students will be grouped off into four per person, so 8 groups of 4, because the total of students is 32. We'll be throwing a party, so we'll be dividing the food out, and then each group will be coming in, and you're going to be adding groups and subtracting groups and everything. This is what is teaching them standard algorithm of addition as well as fractions. And I think having the party and having food and having the students interact and not sit in a desk and look at a board all day teaches them and engages them into learning these new ways and creations of math, as well as relating back to that book and thinking about that book. So yeah, that is exactly what I would do for my classroom and how I would have a party day, making it a little bit more fun and using those mathematical examples that the book used as well. So that is my book talk for today, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you all have a great semester and a great day, and you all enjoy reading everyone else's book talks. Thank you!